Can you hear the music, Mike? Hey, Jim. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't know if you can or not. I've got some music going. Alrighty. Oh, time to fly then. Let me know in the chat if the music needs to be louder. Don't really have a good feeling for how well the PC's picking it up. Ladies and gentlemen, Mel Torme.
And folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some help to make the season bright. Tiny little tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to see tonight. They know that Santa's on his way.
No presents under the tree yet. I have a feeling there's going to be some 1404 beta FPV motors for my Cinewhip though. Who's that hunched over old man? Land now. Whew. Hello. The Velvet Fog. Music is in the distance. Do you want it a little louder? Let's try it.
And God send.
Thanks, Lake Pilot.
Happy New Year.
battery and put another one in. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me over the music. I might have to adjust song by song. Where are the rest of the batteries? Whoa. Cameras off, cameras off. Warning, warning. Land now. Fix the camera. That's better. Painted Black's a Christmas song, isn't it? Who put that chair there?
Dear Mr. Santa Claus, I'm writing you this letter 'cause there's something I want and I thought you should know. There's something I need and no, it's not snow. And oh, I'm sure that you're busy, so it won't take too long. And oh, I wrote you this letter so you don't get it wrong. Oh, Mr. Saint Nick, a brand new Ferrari just won't do the trick. And oh, Christopher Kringle, on Christmas's girl is for you single. I don't want to ask why a Christmas kiss would be nice.
Switch out the battery.
Some toys, but I'm not like those other girls. I don't need no dolls and I don't need no pearls. And oh, I hope that you listen, cause this year is different.
I'm flying a Mob Light 6. It's about a 20, maybe 22 gram little drone. 65 millimeter, I think.
On Christmas is blood is for you single. I don't want to ask why Christmas kiss would be nice. 'Cause I've been through the oh, you know.
I'll show you the drone at the end of this flight if you like, and I'll turn down the music so you can hear me.
I won't misbehave if you turn up on time. Oh, Mr. Saint, a brand new Ferrari just won't do the trick. And oh, Mr. Kringle, on Christmas good is for you single.
That's our Mickey Mouse tree. It's all Disney ornaments on there from trips that we've taken since the kids were little. Every time we go, we each pick out an ornament, bring it home, put it on that tree. It's my retirement tree. This room is so suffocating. Walking on ice, but nobody breaks it. Stuck in this one-way conversation. Guess I'll be here for a while. And you're blowing smoke in my face and telling me all. Whoa! Don't hit the tree. Take a shot with the fake smile and chase it. Guess I'll take another round. Everybody in this party's fucking fake. I really wish that I could say it to your face. Whoa. Hello, it's so good to see you. We met before, but nice to meet you. Yeah, I don't really want to be here like oh, I see some hair. What's my name? Do you remember? I'm pretty sure you have my number. So let's pretend we like each other like blah, blah, blah. I'm so bored. Love your shoes. Tell me more on and on about yourself. Can you bother somebody else? Raise a glass if you like me. Getting trashed cause you can't leave. Guess we're in this together. Makes my head hurt. All right, I'll turn down the music a bit. Well, I'll turn it down a lot. Would I just pause it? I'll move this camera over magically to there. How's that for darkness? Well, if I'm going to show you this drone, just unplug it first. Let's get a better angle here. The old knees on the floor. So this is the Mob Light 6. I don't know, 60, 65 millimeter, little teeny tiny props on it. It's about 23 grams. You can see the problem I was having with the camera is it's not really held on with anything here. It's just kind of on a, just on a little bit of a strap there. So the camera angle varies with almost every flight, and every once in a while it'll have a little bit of a twist to it. So what's happening is, you know, your brain tries to keep things level, but as your brain's trying to keep it level, the drone's actually like this, and it's kind of drifting. So it's kind of hard to keep control that way. So that's it. That's what I'm flying. I think I've had it for 2 years now. I haven't broken the frame on it yet. Haven't broken the board, even though the board's completely exposed. The antenna is still good. The only thing I had to do was replace this little end, a little battery end. The pins on it were getting worn out, and it was causing me to have very short flights. My batteries weren't lasting very long. Just, I guess, a lot of loss from bad connection. Oh, that's... Maybe I'll get a chair. Get a chair and sit over here so that you can actually see me instead of the window. I just thought being at that window gave me good coverage in both directions for the antenna. God, I look cool in these goggles. Oh, thanks, Jim. I really like it. We started at, let's see. So Stacy and I, we were together when I was in university, and then we ended up splitting up, and she had a couple kids. And we got back together. They were about 4 and 5 years old. And ever since then, every year that we've gone down to Disney, we go to, used to be called Downtown Disney. I think it's called Disney Springs now or something. There's a big Christmas store there, and we each get to pick out one ornament. So it started out that we'd put them on the main tree, and then, you know, we did a few trips and we decided to have our own Mickey tree in the other room. So we'll be going back in April of 2023. Unfortunately, not for the meetup later on in the month. And hopefully we'll pick up a couple more. Hey, Lake Pilot. Size of your Tiny Hawk 2. I don't think it has nearly the power of the Tiny Hawk 2, though. Is the Tiny Hawk 2 a 1S or a 2S quad? I'm just going to get my next battery ready. And actually, I should probably turn these goggles off so I have some power when I go to fly. Yeah, I'd like. Hey, Mike, that Mel Torme song is one of my favorites. It really is, and it's one of those. I obviously, if you've watched any of my channel, I like finding bands that cover other music, put a little different spin on it or something. But that's one of the ones that I really like the original so much, or at least Mel's version of the original. Let's see. I have no idea. Just the three of us today. Well, at least only three in the comments. Oh, it's a 1S. The Tiny Hawk 2 is a 1S. So yeah, it would be around the same size then. Yeah, I like the Emax products. I've always wanted one, and I never gotten one. I think it was the Baby Hawk I really want. What's their 3-inch, 3 or 3.5 inches? I think the Baby Hawk, and I think that would be great for flying in the park across the street. All right, maybe I'll fire up another battery, throw the music back on so you don't have to listen to my voice. Do another flight. Music. I'm going to continue with the same song. Why not?
I gotta show some face. Hello, it's so good to see you. We met before, but nice to meet you. Yeah,
that won't work.
I really wanna be here. What's my name? Do you remember? I'm pretty sure you have my number, so let's pretend we like each other, like to the people that don't like. Every time to the people that don't like. To the people that don't.
If you're wondering what's taking me here, I pulled an elastic off. There we go. I got it. Vampire.
Sent to drain. Secret destroy.
Oh, I'm not even recording this on my goggle. That doesn't matter.
Hold you up to the flame. And what did I get? For my pain. Did you decide? And it's a piece of the game. Even though I know I suppose I'll show on my food and cold like old Joe. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in the cage. And someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in the cage. Now I'm naked. Nothing but anybody. Can fake it for just one more show? And what do you want? I wanna change. And what do you got? When you feel the same, even though I know I suppose I'll show all my cool and cold like old Joe. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in the cage. Despite all my rage,
Whoa! This spot with this chair is not a good placement. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is that battery dead? Close enough. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. There we go. Hey, Bob Casey. The squished pumpkins. The rotting pumpkins. All right. Do one more of these. How's it looking outside? What do you think of the chances of being able to get a signal outside if I put the computer on the ledge here and do a park flight? Is anybody interested in seeing that? Take the actual 3-inch out to the park, and I'll just set the computer on the couch here and hope we'll get a signal. I'll think about it. I'm going to do another flight. Jim Beauchart says sure. Well, when Jim speaks, I listen. All right. Let's find the baby ape. And I'm just going to... crop the antenna in the window here. Move you guys over there. All right, I'll switch over the other camera and then I'll get the baby ape ready and I'll be up in the sky in 2 minutes. No time for the usual formalities like jackets and hats. All right, we got a picture from the baby ape. It's a good sign. See you on the other side. All right, let me swap the camera over and kill the music so I can talk to you guys. Oh, that's foggy. That's fogging excellent. Here we go. I'm back. Could you see anything? Could you actually see it flying? I don't know if I've ever met that guy before. I might have. He was. I came. Well, I didn't come back, and I didn't crash into the tree to avoid the dog. But I talked. Like he talked to me. He came over. He was just quite interested in it. He said his wife got him a little drone as a gift, and he's never flown it. Maybe he'll come over to the park and fly it one day. So he was more interested. He wasn't angry. Dog didn't like it, and dog certainly didn't like me. Actually, I don't know why I took that out. Might fly that again later. Okay, what am I doing? Well, thanks on the landing, Bob. Could you guys see the rest of the flight? I'm having trouble. I should probably throw my glasses on so I can see, so I can read the chat. Pretty good, a little snowy. Especially, I imagine, when I was around the play set. Yeah, that's true. That's true. An acquired taste. Okay, what am I doing? I'll have to watch the stream back later and see just how brutal that was to see whether that's a reasonable way to do things. All right, I've got a battery in this already. Is this my last battery or second last? I think this might be my last battery. So fire that up. I'd love it if one of these days we could do one of these live flies and actually have somebody else in here so that so I have somebody to talk to. All right, what do I have to do? I have to turn on a camera or something. Turn on a camera. Put some music back on. Here we go. Battery voltage low. Well, that's my goggle battery voltage low. Well, let's see if I can fly with that in the middle of my screen. Just remember, if I drop out of the sky, it's not pilot error, it's my goggles died. Same patterns, only so many spots to fly. Oh, I meant to put a fireplace on that TV. Well, that was the goggle battery dying. Alrighty. I only have half a drone battery left. I'm not sure it's worth replacing the goggle battery and finishing up. I think I'll just kind of call it on that. Oh, I've got 1.5 drone batteries. All right, I'm going to go look for goggle batteries. 2 seconds. I happen to have a freshly charged set here. Yeah, so I'm not using just the 2S LiPo anymore in these. For exactly this reason. All right, let's get back in the sky. You'll see what I can hit in the basement. Ooh, does anybody like Rodriguez? Well, there's my setup for doing the long exposures. That's Stacy's Nikon with 10 stop ND filter on it, so I can get those long exposures. Hey Bob, how are you doing? Drone days? I miss our live fly sessions, Bob. I wonder what the next song will be. Another Rodriguez.
Woman, please be gone. You stay here much too long. Don't you wish that you could cry? Don't you wish I would die? CBC's our kids, child women on the skids. The dust will choke you blind, the lust will choke your mind. I kiss the floor, one kick no more. The pig and hose have set me free. I tasted hate streets, hanging trees. I tasted hate streets, hanging trees. I kiss the floor, one kick no more. The pig and hose have set me free. I tasted hate streets, hanging trees. I tasted hate streets, hanging trees.
That's a box of wine. Yummy.
The inner city birthed me. The local pusher nursed me. Doesn't make it on the street. They marry every trick they meet. A dime, a dollar, they're all the same. When the man comes in to bust
Ordered some new battery or some new motors for that Cinewhoop today. Gonna go to 1404s from 1106s. And that's my night quad with the new LEDs on it.
I kiss the floor, one kiss no more. The pig and hose have set me free. I tasted hate streets, hanging trees. 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 I tasted hate streets, hanging trees.
Well, that's interesting. There we go. Okay, turn these off. Okay, this time I said stop. I really mean it. Stop. What am I flying? Let me pick it up. It's a Mob Light 6. Was it you that recommended this one to me, Bob? I think you recommended me the Mob Light 6 or the Mob Light 7, maybe. And I ended up going with the Mob Light 6. So it's a little 20 to 23 gram drone, something in that neighborhood. The frame on it's pretty durable. Everything else is exposed, but I've never had a problem with it. It's nice for flying in the house. You can't. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Oh, let me put my glasses on so I can actually read this stuff. Yeah, it's tiny. It's like palm of your hand, kind of tiny. But that's good for flying around inside the house, even when there's people around. Nobody's threatened by it, and it's not going to hurt anything really. Yeah, I thought you had one, Bob. They're great for indoors. Any little bit of wind outside though, and they get thrown around pretty good. But I like them. Let's see. I'm pretty much I'm done with the I'm done with my whoop batteries. I have one more baby 8 battery, but I see I guess lunchtime is prime time for dog walkers to be out. So the dogs don't tend to like it. Where do I get one? Good question. Race day quads, probably, if they still sell them. It's a couple years old. AliExpress might have them. Mob Light 6. Mob Light 6. And I see one on Amazon. Banggood. See that? I'm seeing $160 on Banggood. That's too much for that quad, I think. Yeah, because they were like $89 when they first came out. I'm just checking. Yeah, $189 on Amazon. That's Canadian dollars though, so that's like 50 cents for you guys. Yeah, well, it's part of the training, right, Bob? If there's a different camera angle every flight, you got to get used to it. Yeah. I think I might have a spare frame with mine too, but I haven't broken it yet. I don't know. Occasionally I'll fly it and I'll just say I just can't do this. It's too much or too little or off to the side. But most of the time I can compensate, after 1 or 2 laps around to what the camera angle it's giving me that flight. I also put, let's see, can you see it? Can you see it? Probably can't see it. Just a little chunk of foam just in between here. You won't be able to make it out, especially with my shaky hands. There, I think you can see the edge of it in there between the mount and the camera, just to try and hold it steady and to try and give it a more consistent angle. Okay, you're waiting to get into FPV. Are you looking for advice? I love giving advice. Simulator. Get the remote you think you're going to buy with your quad, run a simulator, spend 10 hours in the simulator, then get your quad. You will regain the cost of the simulator 5 times over. Hey, Ed, how you doing? How's things going down south? As a beginner, yeah. What I did, I'll tell you what I did. I went out and I had some camera drones, but the old style, you build yourself and kind of program with the gimbal with the GoPro style camera hanging underneath. And then I bought I wanted to get into FPV. I saw all these guys racing through forests and stuff, and I thought this is great. This is around 2015 timeframe, and I bought EA Sheen Racer 250, plastic arms, underpowered, and I flew it around line of sight. And I thought, "Whoa, this thing is so fast! It's so amazing!" And then I threw the goggles on and I flew it in angle mode. And I did a couple FPV flights in angle mode, and that was fine. That was relatively easy. Then I tried acro mode and I broke an arm. And I ordered a new arm and I fixed it up and everything. And then I tried again and I did the same thing. And I just, the same reaction that everybody has. This is hard. And these whoops are amazing because you can crash them and you can recover, right? These little guys, and even the more modern FPV quads are. But then with plastic arms, it was a disaster. So I kind of put it on the shelf for a year and only flew it line of sight. And then over a winter, I bought a simulator, or actually, I think it was free, the DRL simulator. And I decided, I'd watched a video where a guy went from not flying FPV at all to 10 hours on the simulator, and then he did a race. Now, he wasn't great when he raced, but he was able to hit some gates and do some corners and everything. So I did 10 hours on the simulator, and it was still winter. So I did another 10, then I did another 10, then I did another 10. Anyway, I don't know how much I did that one winter, but when I went out to fly in March or April, it was a really nice experience. The flying itself was easy, even in acro mode. Flips and rolls were easy. Power loops weren't so easy. They take a little bit more time to get your timing down. But basically, I could have a good flight and land it and fly again. And I think at that time, the props were still pretty brittle. They weren't as nice as they are now. So I'd break a prop every now and then. But it really made that first summer of flying more enjoyable that I spent that time in the simulator. And it seems like a lot of time, but if you start getting into it and start enjoying it, and especially if you do more than just flying around, like if you try hit race gates and things and try and beat your time on races and stuff like that, kind of treat it like a video game that you like, and it'll make for a good experience. But that's just me. You need a decent computer to do it that way. Some people get dizzy on the simulator. A lot of people would rather just fly and crash, and I understand that. That's great, but that's what worked for me. First controller and goggles. It's been a long time. Like this controller, you can tell by how muddied up it is. This is pretty old. This is my second one that I'm using in FPV. The first one I used was this Turnigy Evolution controller, and I still have two quads set up on it that I fly. This one's a FR Sky Tyrannus X Lite or something. I wouldn't buy this right now. If I was to buy one right now, I'm not even sure what I would recommend because I haven't tried any of the newer ones, but I know that there's a lot of good ones either in the game style controller or the full size remote in the $100 range. Don't be thinking you need to spend $400. I flew, I think this was $49 or something when I bought it. And I flew for 2 years using this remote. And I still fly with this remote. And I'll tell you, my next remote was $200. And there's this much difference between the two for my flight experience as far as I can feel it. And as for goggles, that's a tough one. I flew with box goggles for a while. And when I went to real goggles, they weren't even these. These are good real analog goggles. I bought I had Fat Shark Predator V2s, and then I had Sky Zone, the original Sky Zones. But going from box goggles to real goggles was night and day for what I could see. And if you can't see, you can't fly, right? You'll be able to go up and zip around things and everything, but you're not going to be hitting gaps or any of that kind of stuff if you can't see. Now, if your eyes are good, box goggles might work out well for you. For me, I've got older eyes, so I had trouble with focusing with the box goggles, but going to real goggles solved that. And then these are Sky Zone or 4Xs, and they have like focal adjustments and IPD adjustments on the bottom. So it'll move the lenses in and out, and it'll move the where the lenses are. Everything's backwards in relation to your eye, like that. So you can set them up perfectly so you can see, like, so no glasses, but I can see perfectly. But these, they're price is everything, right? A pair of box goggles you can probably get for $60 now, even a decent pair of box goggles. For a decent set of real goggles, you're probably at least 300 in, and if you want to go for a higher end, you're probably 500 or maybe even more. And again, it's Canadian dollars I'm quoting, so I'm, the US prices are lower, I'm sure. Do I use the same controller for all of my drones? I have, I think, 16 different drones set up on this one. I don't know. I don't think I have 16 drones, but I have 16 set up on it. There's probably at least 10 that are actively able to fly. So yeah, for the most part, I use one. I do have this. This is originally FR Sky for the protocol, and then I added on an ELRS. Oops, sorry. I should really be holding that. Added on an ELRS module afterward, and just because it's getting harder and harder to find FR Sky receivers, and ELRS was starting to be the big thing, and the receivers were cheap, so I thought I'd switch over to that. So I have probably 4 quads that are ELRS, and the rest are FR Sky on here. And then I still have a few from way back that are configured on this one. There's one that I'm just starting to fly line of sight, just to try and get a little bit better, both on angle mode to help me with my camera drone stuff, and acro mode. I want to learn acro with line of sight. So I still have one set up on this for that, and I have a racing quad set up on this that I very rarely fly because it's a bottom mount battery. And landing, I have enough trouble landing top mount battery drones. Goggles, yeah, goggles are a tough one to recommend. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to give you all of the information that I have. I wish I was the kind of guy that would say, go out and get the Tiny Hawk 2 beginner kit, 5 batteries, and the liftoff simulator, right? And that's it, and you're done. And to be quite honest, to be there, see, Bob's got the recommendation. Everybody that I know that's flown one of those smaller Emax drones as their first drones is really happy with their experience. So that should tell you. It's just I haven't. So, I don't like recommending things I haven't tried myself. But I know Bob's had one of those. I think Ed had an Emax drone, and they seem to like it. And they've got a beginner kit. If you buy the ready to fly, like the beginner kit that comes with the goggles and comes with the remote, chances are in a year you'll get different goggles and you'll get a new remote if you're enjoying FPV. But it's still a good investment for that first year to test the waters, I would say. Right? I mean, I've got so many. Like, I've got 2 sets of box goggles. I've got 3 sets of real goggles. So I wasn't willing to dive in day one and spend $600 on goggles, $200 on a remote, and another $500 on a drone. But some people are. I just wasn't that sure of it at that point. Yeah, Ed agrees that that's a good suggestion, and yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with the Tiny Hawk. It seems very durable. I've seen it crash lots of times. Anyway, guys, it's been nice hanging out and talking to you. I got some packs in. I got to do some practice. You got to see me hit a tree. So hopefully the stream turns out okay. I'll have to check out how well going across the street worked while the antenna's in the house. But thanks for stopping by. I'm going to put an end to the stream. Oh, yeah. Yep, you can spend lots of money on this hobby for sure. I spent just as much on airplanes before that. On foamy airplanes, and I've got enough parts to open my own hobby shop when it comes to airplanes and cars. Anyway, take it easy, guys. Have a great afternoon. Have a good night tonight. Oh, Jerry flies planes as well. I know I keep on yapping on. Well, that's awesome. Well, that's where I started, right? I started with planes maybe 10 or 12 years ago. Well, as a kid as well, but current times. All right, I'm going to end it. I have to hit the button. Do it. Hit the button. Not yet. End broadcast.